Hello, everyone, and welcome to this next episode in the series where I play the 2028 playoffs with my New York Mets. Before I get started, I just wanted to thank everyone who watched one of my most recent videos, which got more than 50 views. I'm very grateful that so many people happened to stumble across that video, and I'm truly blown away. So thank you all for that. And without any further ado, let's get into this series. And I think I'm just going to start with a recap of how we got to where we are right now. So we beat the Diamondbacks in 2 games, and then we beat the Braves in 4 games, which allowed us to move into the championship series. And we are now facing the St. Louis Cardinals, who beat the Los Angeles Dodgers in 5 games in order to make the championship series. And on the American League side, you can see the Red Sox have a 1-0 lead against the Seattle Mariners there. And so, just one thing on the St. Louis Cardinals, and this also will go into a roster move that I made, is the fact that you can see that they have 5 lefties in their starting lineup. And if you go here, their starting lineup against right-handed pitchers is the same as their starting lineup against left-handed pitchers. And so I sort of made a change to my pitching staff. It was a hard choice, but I decided to take out Owen White, and instead, and I kept in Connor Phillips, who will be our 4th starter in the game. And I left Jeffrey Springs in the bullpen largely because his stamina is considerably lower than the usual starter, but I'll probably use him to piggyback off of Phillips. And I bought up to take Owen White's spot Nathan Lavender, who played the first, basically up until the trade deadline, he was on our roster. And as you can see, he was fairly average. Wasn't really doing anything special, but because he is a left-handed reliever, I decided that it will be valuable to have him on the roster against such a left-handed heavy team. Besides that, one other note about the St. Louis Cardinals is that their top starter, Pablo Lopez, was started Game 5 against the Dodgers. And so what that means is that he does not pitch until I believe he's Game 3. And so we have that advantage, and we instead are going to be facing Drew Rom to start. And Drew Rom did have a great year, but I am not afraid. And then Chris Paddock and Cade Cavalli, I'll let you see their profiles right here. They're both fairly mediocre pitchers right now, so that is nothing to fear. Without any further ado, let's save our game, and then let's go and play Game 1 of the National League Championship Series in 2028, a rematch of the 2006 National League Championship Series. And we will be starting with our lefty, Tarek Skubal, on the mound, and he will be faced by another lefty in Drew Rom. And so we're going to put out the same lineup that we've been putting out against lefties, with Lindor and Bader at the bottom of the lineup, and they will likely be substituted for the left-handed hitters of Travis Bazzana, Cody Bellinger, and Brent Rooker will also probably get substituted for Brandon Nimmo during the game. St. Louis really just they have 3 left-handed relievers. And that is it for me. And so let's get started with Game 1. So we start in St. Louis. We had 6 more wins than the St. Louis Cardinals. However, they had won the division, and we only got stuck in an hour. So they are the home team and will have home field advantage. So Juan Vargas will lead off for us. He had a big home run in Game 4. And he pops it up directly to the catcher. I was also playing around with the camera angle, and I think I found something better, but I will continue to play around with it. if it is not satisfactory. So here is Drew Rom. Okay, and Alvarez strikes out, and now here's Brent Rooker. He had a homer in Game 3. And Rooker also strikes out, so Drew Rom sits us down 1-2-3. And now we take the field. Mason Wynn leads off. For Cardinals fans, he has been very good, so hopefully that bodes well for his future and real life. As Lindor throws to first to get the first out, here's Nacho Alvarez Jr. And he strikes out, and so now here is Nolan Gorman. And it is a grounder to Lindor, so we get 2 ground outs to the second baseman and 1 strikeout as Tarek Skubal sets down the Cardinals 1-2-3. Alonso, Torkelson, and Carter do up for us in the second inning. And Alonso is hit, so we have the first base runner of the game. Now here is Spencer Torkelson. Works a 1-2 count, and he strikes out. That's the 3rd strikeout for Rom. Here is Evan Carter, the only lefty in the starting lineup, and he hits a ball deep into right center field. That ball bounces off the top of the wall. Evan Carter will head into second. Will Alonso try to score? He will not. And so it is a 1-out double for Evan Carter. And so that will leave us with runners on second and third, 1 out for Christian Hernandez. And Hernandez with a grounder to the third baseman. They throw home to get Alonso, and they nail him at the plate. Don't know if he had to go there, but Christian Hernandez does get to first base, and now Francisco Lindor will step up to bat. It will be the 3-1, and Lindor lines out to the third baseman, Mason Wynn, and so we get nothing despite having runners on second and third with only 1 out. Jordan Walker, Alec Burleson, and Ivan Herrera due up for the Cardinals. In the second inning, that's a strikeout, Skubal. Here is Alec Burleson. And Burleson into left center field. And that ball is going to get down and probably be for extra bases. And it will be a double for Alec Burleson. And now it seems that my stream has crashed. That is unfortunate. I don't think I'm going to be able to really spend time trying to fix it. It does seem that we're back live though, but the live stream is struggling, so I'll just have to deal with that. 3-1, and it's ball 4. Now here is Lars Nootbaar, and Nootbaar strikes out. So now here is Nathan Martorella, and Martorella, it's a fly ball into center. Bader settles underneath it, and so the double and the whop amount to nothing for the Cardinals in the bottom of the second. Skubal already at 43 pitches, Drew Rom only at 25 through 2 innings. It will be Bader on the top of the order. And Bader into right field, but it will be caught by Jordan Walker. So now here is Juan Vargas. And Vargas grounds out to the shortstop. And here's now Francisco Alvarez. And Alvarez will hit a base hit just past the shortstop. So we do have a runner on first with 2 outs for Brent Rooker. And the 0-1 to Rooker. And he gets hit. That is a second hit batter for the Mets today, after Alonso was plunked in his first plate appearance in the second inning. So now here's Alonso, and he works a 2-2 count. And Alonso directly to the shortstop. And Alvarez, Nacho Alvarez, will toss it to the second baseman to end the inning. So we get nothing in the top of the third, but now we're pitching in the bottom of the third against Jazz Chisholm Jr. And Chisholm deep to right field, and some lefty on lefty crime as Jazz Chisholm Jr. goes way gone into right field. And that is a very loud call. So there goes that. So we're now down 1-0. Here is now the top of the Cardinals order. And it's a little grounder. And Scooble will fire to first to get the out. Here's Nacho Alvarez Jr. And he has himself a base hit. So it's the second hit of the inning for the Cardinals. Here is now Nolan Gorman. And Scooble walks him, so Scooble is not pitching very sharp here at this time. I think just in case I might get Jeffrey Springs. But he strikes out Jordan Walker in a huge bounce back, and now here's Alec Burleson. And he retires Burleson looking, so Tarek Scooble, after having a shaky start to the third, comes back and finishes it strong. Here is Torkelson, Carter, and Hernandez. And Torkelson pops up, so that will be an out. Here is Evan Carter, sorry. My Evans and Ivans mixed up, as Carter has himself a base hit, his second hit of the game. Ivan Herrera does not have a great arm, while Drew Rom does hold runners very well. I think I'm just going to play it safe and not have him steal yet. So let's start with Christian Hernandez, and Hernandez into left field, but it is caught by Newbar. Now here is Francisco Lindor. The 1-1 counts. And Lindor grounds out. It will be a fielder's choice, and so that ends the top of the fourth. Here is now Ivan Herrera, Lars Nootbaar, and Nathan Martorella. I think in case, I'm going to give Scooble probably these first 4 batters, and hopefully it goes well. I think I'm going to warm up Mike Vasile just in case something bad happens. And so it's a strikeout of Herrera. 6 now on the day for Scooble. Here's Lars Nootbaar. And Nootbaar grounds out to first base. So now here is Nathan Martorella. And he immediately goes to an 0-2 count, and he pops up. And it will be caught by Francisco Lindor. So we move into the top of the 5th. Still down 1-0. I think I'm going to try leaving men for the 5th inning too. So it'll be Bader, Vargas, and Alvarez. It's the 1-2, and Bader strikes out. Here is Juan Vargas. And Vargas strikes out. So now here is Francisco Alvarez. The 1-0 count, and Alvarez, it's a little nubber to the second baseman. And that will be a ground out to Nolan Gorman, and it seems the stream crashed again. Ay, ay, ay. Well, the stream is having a very tough time. It just said that it was doing well. I might have to end the stream early now because of all this trouble, but we will see. So I think I'm going to get up, let me just check out my lefties real quick. Let me check their stamina. And I think I might just bring in, maybe I'll warm up Jeffrey Springs just in case, and then he can maybe give us some innings. And also dominate. So it will be Scooble versus Chisholm. I expect this to be Scooble's final inning, and Chisholm flies out to right field. Here's Mason Wynn. And Wynn into right field. And that's going to be a base hit. And I think I might have to call it here for Scooble. It appears that Jeffrey Springs is not done warming up, so I'm going to pitch. I'm going to let him face Nacho Alvarez Jr. Oh, and the runner almost starts to go, but he decides not to. And Jeffrey Springs is now ready. So I think also, I'm sorry everyone who's watching live for the technical issues. I am not appreciating the fact that I'm having them either. So I'm going to bring in Jeffrey Springs. I think Screwball is starting to get really shaky. So here comes in Jeffrey Springs, and we're going to let him ride as long as he can. Going 2, and he strikes out Nacho Alvarez Jr. Now here is Nolan Gorman. And he strikes out Gorman looking, so Springs is a great start to his relief appearance. So now here is Rooker, Alonso, and Torkelson, still trying to find something against Drew Rom, who's been lights out against us. And Rooker will ground out to the shortstop, Alvarez Jr. And they take out Drew Rom. Why did they do that? Drew Rom he's only at... Where is it? Oh, it doesn't even list out his pitches. I have no idea why they would do that, but I am very happy that they did. They bring in Shota Imanaga, who I think we have a much better chance at scoring against. There's a full count to Alonso. And he strikes out looking. Here is Spencer Torkelson now. Torkelson also works a full count. And it's the same result, 2 back-to-back full count strikeouts looking for Shota Imanaga, and now we go to the bottom of the 6th. And Walker with a line out to Lindor. Here's Alec Burleson. And another ground out to Lindor. Lindor makes 2 nice plays. Here's Ivan Herrera. And Herrera strikes out, so Jeffrey Springs has been dominant so far for his inning and 2/3 pitched. He faced 5 hitters and retired all of them. Still Imanaga on the mound, and Evan Carter leads off with a flyout to right field. The crowd gets louder in St. Louis. Here's Christian Hernandez. And Christian Hernandez has himself a base hit. Francisco Lindor will now come up to hit. I'm still going to stick with him since it's a lefty pitching, and Lindor strikes out. Now I need to think, do I still hit Bader, or do I... No, I mean, I think Bellinger is still a worse hitter. So I think I have to keep Bader in the game. And let's see if he can do something. The 0-2, and he hits a ground ball to the first baseman. He takes it to the bag, and that ends the inning. Let me just check the stream health. I mean, I think right now it looks fine. Let's hope for the best. It is Nootbaar, Martorella, and Chisholm Jr. And Nootbaar into right field, and that ball is caught. Let me just check here. I think maybe to be safe, I think, Springs is starting to get up there in terms of his pitch count. I think I'm going to warm up Nick Sandlin. Now here's Nathan Martorella. And he strikes him out. Another strikeout for Springs. He has 4 so far. Now here's Jazz Chisholm Jr. I'm probably going to make this his final hitter that Springs face. And Chisholm just flies out to center field. So a solid 2 2/3 innings from Jeffrey Springs. And just a truly great performance. And I'll bring in Nick Sandlin most likely to pitch in the next inning. Nick Robertson comes on. He had to give up 2 solo home runs in that Game 7 performance against the Dodgers. Hopefully he does the same here. Juan Vargas leads off. And Vargas grounds out. Now here is Francisco Alvarez. And Alvarez strikes out. So now, I'm just going to get 2 things up. Nick Sandlin will warm up. And Nick Robertson, a right-handed pitcher, causes us to bring in Brandon Nimmo to pitch. Actually, hang on. 130. I think I'm actually going to bring in Cody Bellinger. in part because I think he's going to be a better defender. Oh, yeah, actually, if I bring in Nimmo, then Nimmo goes to left field, then I don't have someone... Oh, I could play Spencer Torkelson at first base. Considerations. I think I'm going to pinch hit Cody Bellinger, since that won't prevent us from putting a real liability, in the field. So, Bellinger pinch hitting. He works a full count. And Bellinger with a ground ball to the second baseman. And we were 3 outs away from losing game 1. We are going to put Cody Bellinger in right field, and we will then move Spencer Torkelson to first base. He played an inning and a third for us. At first base, he did make 9 starts, though, for the Detroit Tigers. So, we have Cody Bellinger in right field, Spencer Torkelson at first, for those of you keeping score at home. And because 3 of the next 4 hitters are right-handed, we will bring in Nick Sandlin as our first right-handed pitcher of the series. And I think just in case things get hairy, we can warm up, I'd say, Nate Lavender. And a little grounder, and that's going to be 1 out. Now here's Nacho Alvarez Jr., an A-plus name, but does he have an A-plus swing? Not this time, as he grounds out to the shortstop Vargas. And now here is Nolan Gorman, and he works a full count, and he walks on ball 4. Here is now Jordan Walker. This is going to be Nick Sandlin's last hitter, unless he can retire Walker right now. The 0-2, and he strikes out Jordan Walker. So Nick Sandlin gives up a walk, but nothing else in the bottom of the 8th. And we are now in the top of the 9th, down by 1 against a closer trying to work on his 2nd inning. And it will be Pete Alonso, Spencer Torkelson, and Evan Carter, the hearts of the Mets order, due up. And the stream is struggling again. Here is Pete Alonso, and Alonso with a little grounder, and it will be an out. Here is Spencer Torkelson. The stream crashes. And Torkelson flies out, sorry. And here is now Evan Carter. And the 2-2 to Carter. And Carter with a base hit to keep our hopes alive. Evan Carter extends the inning. And now here is Christian Hernandez. I'm not going to pinch hit for Hernandez. He's a capable hitter, and I'll leave him there. In case we do go to the bottom of the inning, I think I'm going to warm up Andrew Salfrank. Oh, actually, now they have 2 righties. Okay, interesting. So, Christian Hernandez drew up the 2-2, and he strikes out, and that's is a Game 1 victory for the St. Louis Cardinals. Just nothing going on for us offensively. I mean, we had 5 hits, 3 of which were by Evan Carter, and 10 strikeouts. Next game, we will be having Bellinger and Bazana and Nimmo back in the lineup, so hopefully that helps us out. But it was just not a good performance by our right-handed hitters against a lefty starter and a lefty reliever in this game. Besides that, some highlights. Tarek Schoolbull's pitch count was run up, but he only gave up 1 run. And overall, the pitching was great. Jeffrey Springs with 2 2/3 innings, striking out 4 batters. And then Nick Sandlin came in and had a pretty good inning, too. His 4th appearance in the playoffs. And so, that is it for me for game one, and I will see you all in game two.